Hello everyone, this is Shamnath Banerjee from Advanced Software Systems. Today we are going to talk about part 2 of our slidecast on mobile security, and we are going to cover threat vectors in detail. First, Assist at a glance. Advanced Software Systems, or Assist Inc., was established in 1993. We have been in business for almost 19 years now, providing IT solutions and services. Our team is globally distributed. Very strong federal practice, large commercial accounts, and very strong presence in education and nonprofit area. This slide shows you a partial list of our customers. So again, with further ado, we'll go into the mobile threat vector. Now, just as a continuation from our last slidecast, smartphone devices perform very similar functions as laptops, but they have very little endpoint security. And this poses a very big roadblock for enterprises and businesses who want to adopt smartphones as part of their business processes. What are the threat vectors which can compromise security? The threat vectors can come from malware, from loss and theft of these phones, or interception in any kind of data communication, or techniques called jailbreaking or rooting of these devices. So let's go into the depth of each one of these. So in malwares, what are malwares? Malwares are rogue applications or programs which might get installed with or without your knowledge and might continue nefarious activities which you never wanted them. For example, 3D anti-terrorist is an example of a malware in the Windows mobile world. We're also going to talk about the growth in Android malware in the very recent times, in the early part of 2011. And a significant malware in the Android world is Droid Dream. So first, about 3D anti-terrorist. 3D anti-terrorist on the surface, or its main intentions was to provide a first shooter game for the Windows mobile world. A Chinese company developed it and they built it with pretty good intention, so there's nothing wrong with the game. However, a group of Russian hackers and virus writers took the game, removed copyright, and loaded it with malware. Now, what does the malware do? It actually makes secret phone calls to international premium rate numbers. So even without your knowledge, your phone is dialing this international numbers and you are liable for that phone bill. Pretty bad, huh? So it was thankfully this was discovered and this was taken out and removed from the marketplace. The other big area which we want to focus on is a recent study by Juniper Networks. Juniper, as you know, is a very large communications device provider, and they also provide software for VPN for different mobile devices. And based on their threat databases, they published a recent study. And the study showed the different kinds of threats or violations which are going on, the different kinds of malwares, and they reported a 400% increase in Android malware within a short period of June 2010 to January 2011. Now, mind you, this is only within Juniper's database. There could be way more or other samples outside which we do not know. We're just quoting the Juniper's finding and their study. Now, one of the leading malwares was something which got uncovered in March of 2011. It is called Droid Dream. Now, Droid Dream got root access to your device and could collect information about the unique ID of your phone. It could get the mobile equipment information, your phone model, your user ID, the device's language. So, by rooting this, the possibilities were endless. Very few people know what this could have done. Now, it got infected on about 50 applications and about 50,000 users. Google responded very quickly and removed this. However, the damage this could have done was practically limitless because after it was installed, it could do just about anything with your phone. This is a direct quote from Android Police. So, beware of malware, beware what kind of applications is getting installed, and keep an eye on the security threats as they are being reported. The second area of the threat is loss and theft. Now, believe it or not, even it came as a shocker to me that 1 in 20 phones are misplaced. Now, when you lose a phone, you also lose all the photos and contacts. That means all your personally identifiable information, all the email and web account information, your user ID and password if you have chosen to store them on the phone, and any other critical information. For example, the list of your customers, or your calendars, or your notes. Now, this loss for an individual can be something, but it can be catastrophic and very expensive for a company. If one of their employees lose a phone, they can lose some very important secrets of their enterprise. Remember the hapless employee of Apple who left an iPhone prototype in a bar? And that went on and on forever. So loss and theft of a phone, a physical compromise of the device, can be very big. The way to tackle with this is have some kind of a program to remotely track your phone, lock your phone, or even wipe any sensitive information when that eventuality arises. The third is data communications and the associated snooping of that. So there are two big areas. One is spyware, the other is Wi-Fi snooping. Now, I'll jump into spywares, but before that, I just want to very quickly cover Wi-Fi snooping. If your phone is in a Wi-Fi network which is not secure, let's say in a Starbucks area or in a public area, there are very well documented ways to do packet sniffing, intercept the communications, and find out what communication is going on. There are programs like Wireshark which can do that for you. So whenever you are using a public Wi-Fi, remember that you are exposing yourself to these kind of things. And a very recent Android vulnerability with open tokens was exposed as late as the early part of May. Thankfully, they have covered it. But every time you're going to a social network, you're not giving your user ID and password, you're giving a token for a limited duration so that you can interact with that social network. Now, if you are doing that in an open Wi-Fi, chances are somebody could take those open tokens and carry on conversations on your behalf, like looking at your calendar. Now, the other part is spyware. Spywares can be very, very sophisticated. They can track calls, they can track messages, they can track even locations. So this can be exercised by a doubting spouse or a doubting partner, or you might want might want to keep a watch on their children or their employees for that matter. But spywares can be very, very sophisticated, and they are practically undetectable. You won't even know that it's on your phone. It will not show up in the list of installed applications. There are commercially available versions. Spybubble is the leader of that gang, but spywares is something to watch out for. Now, if you put things in perspective, the entire Cold War generation technology is right now available for less than $200 for anyone to use and apply. And spyware is something to watch out for, whether you are an individual or a corporation, because a rival, your competitor might have injected spyware in one of your key critical employees and want to snoop on everything that you are doing. The last area I want to talk about is jailbreaking or rooting. Now, this is a very common term among the hacker community. Let's try to first understand. Now, jailbreaking is a process. Jailbreaking is more of an iPhone term. Jailbreaking is a process by which you can get root level access. Trust me or not, both the iPhone and the Android devices are essentially it's standing up on some kind of a Linux variant. The OS is the Linux variant. So if you're familiar with that, if you get root level access, you get full access to the device, and also the device files. Now, traditionally, it was kind of techie geeky to accomplish this, but it has become so sophisticated that right now you can just visit a website called jailbreakme.com and jailbreak your iPhone. That means you can get root access. Now, by doing that, you have severed your ties with the Apple App Store. Now you can install any apps, even though they are not available from the Apple App Store. Now, mind you, that means you have opened your doors to malicious apps even, all the malwares that we spoke about. But on the other hand, you can do carrier unlock, inject any SIM card, and work with any other carriers. If you know that iPhone until recently was available only in the AT&T network. So if you wanted to use another network, jailbreaking was the way to do it. You can also convert your iPhone into a Wi-Fi hotspot using an application called MiFi, which of course is not available from Apple App Store, but when you jailbreak your device, you can install it. Now, this may be a hacker's dream, but an IT professional's, a security IT professional's nightmare. Because by jailbreaking a phone, an employee can have all these cool stuff, but he can also load himself up with malicious apps. And he has also severed the warranty with Apple and exposing himself and the organization to some serious trouble. The other side, on the Android side, jailbreaking is called rooting. Again, it provides root access to the phone system files. It's not illegal. However, you might lose warranty and all the carriers and both Apple and Google will look at you with a frown. But it's not illegal. Again, it was kind of complicated in the Android world to do rooting, but now with an application called Easy Root, you can do a one-touch way to root your device. And after you've rooted your device, you can use a ROM manager to install any applications, even though those which are not available in the proper marketplace. You can change your interface to your look and feel. You can change your skins. If you do not like the bloatware which the OEMs provide you, now, many people complain that Sprint just loads their devices with all kinds of stuff. So if you do not like those things, you can get rid of the bloatware. And for the really tech-savvy ones, you can overclock your phone. The screenshot here shows you that the phones are clocked at a peak of 800 megahertz by the equipment manufacturers. If you want, you can take them to the limit. However, that also exposes you to the risk of overheating your phone and totally crashing your phone. So, user beware. But this is what rooting gives you. Again, it's a hacker's dream and IT security professional's nightmare at the same time. So if you're an IT security professional, you want to keep track of whether your organization has any jailbroken devices or any rooted devices, and you have to take them out from your organization because that is the vulnerability. That's where the security malwares, that's where your vulnerability lies. Again, this is the end of our second part of our slide cast. The upcoming cast will do a comparison of platforms of iPhone versus Android. We're also going to talk about secure mobile practices. Thank you so much for attending this. If you have any questions or if you want to reach out to us, you can reach out to us by mobile@assist.net, or you can visit our mobile pages at assist.net/mobile-.